Okay, so now that I've settled on a design made up of a variety of spiral shapes, I'm going to fully adhere those together in a minute and bond those spirals together. And remember, I'm just pulling clay off of that initial chunk to create these coils. I'm also creating little spheres. You'll see how I use those spheres in a few minutes. Remember, when you're not using your chunk of clay, to always keep it wrapped in plastic and protect it from drying out. You're also going to need a plastic fork handy, or you can use a real fork too if you can spare one. But I know I provided a plastic one for you, so that will be useful to us in just a few minutes. Remember, I said we're going to make sure there aren't any holes in our bowl. So you're going to want to roll out like marble size, glass marble size spheres. They can even kind of be the size of your index fingernail or thumbnail. And just simply take your spheres and press them into place wherever you see a hole, wherever you see the white styrofoam bowl peeking through. Plug it up with a ball of clay, basically. So just go round and round and, cover up those holes with however many spheres you need to apply. I've got them all in place now, and there's no need to slip and score, of course, not with this clay anyhow, so that's kind of nice. But now I want you to create a smooth surface. It's a good idea to start with a fork, and basically what you're doing is kind of like a scoring technique. I want you to essentially do light scoring over your funky coils, whether they're spirals or arches, whatever. Just do a light scratching, okay? You don't want to hulk out too much here. Light scratching. You can have your fork pointed upward, downward, flip your fork over, decide what feels comfortable. I kind of use both sides of the fork. Be careful of the bowl. It is kind of wimpy. Your styrofoam bowl now has to hold some weight, so that could be a little tricky. So you want to support your bowl with your hand, or do this directly on the tabletop. I'm holding my bowl again up in the air close to the camera so you can see what I'm doing. So the point of what I'm doing here is to bond all these spiral shapes together so they adhere to one another. And I'm trying to create unity or a uniformity. Now, once you've scratched over everything lightly, it's time to do a better smoothing with your fingertips or thumb and some moisture. You saw me dip my thumb in some water a second ago. You can use one index finger, multiple fingers, your thumb. You decide what's comfortable and what works best. Don't get this perfectly smooth at this point. I want you to reserve that for later, much later, when the clay is slightly drier. Then we'll be able to fully perfect this and get rid of any lumps and bumps or weird dents. Right now, I just want you to do like a preliminary smoothing. And you can see I'm using the fork again for some stubborn areas that my fingertips are having difficulty smoothing. So it's a little bit of a back and forth between fingertips, using the fork again, back to fingertips. And I'm not doing a perfect smoothing on purpose because of what I said a moment ago. You don't want to hulk out and over smooth at this stage, because remember, your clay is still soft and new and plastic and not used to being spirals, and now we're telling the clay to be ultra smooth. That can stress the clay out a little bit. So you can see I've got some imperfections. I'm embracing them right now. I'm living with them because I know that later I will eventually smooth those imperfections away.